Hey traders, it's Jay. Just wanted to share this quick video with you. I'm actually recording this live. It's just after 5 o'clock Hong Kong time in the evening. So that's about just after 5 a.m. Eastern. And you can see here I've taken a short on the FGBL, the German Bund, and the December contract. This is a 5-minute chart with the NOFT on it. You can see I've got the supply and demand zones and some of the other NOFT bells and whistles on here. And I've taken this trade. I got a double sell imbalance. You can see here, right there, at 1594 and 156.94 and 156.93. I had two sell imbalances, so that are highlighted in red. That 132 contracts and 245 contracts sold aggressively. Um, and so obviously I was looking to sell that area, so I got in at 156.92 because it looked like we'd obviously made the turn to the downside, which so far we have. My first target is at 67. My other target, I still have to determine that, so I may pause this video if I need to. This is actually my third trade of the London session. I took a trade up at 157.03 and it just nicked me out by a tick. And I had one other one earlier that was just completely wrong. And hey, it even happens, even with NOFT, it's great, it's awesome, it's a great tool, but hey, sometimes you're just completely wrong, and that's okay. Um, but yeah, as we came back into that 157 area, I was looking for another short, and I had a good entry, I thought, at 157.03, but it pushed through that, and I trade with a very tight stop. I trade with a max 4 or 5 tick stop. So I've had two stop outs, one for 5 ticks and one for 4 ticks, and so I'm just looking to see what happens with this trade. So I'll pause this video and then we'll see how the trade works out. Another another thing that I forgot to mention was that you can see there's that big supply zone up there. We also had a sell imbalance, a couple of sell imbalances coming out of that supply zone. So when we failed to get up into that supply zone again, and then we got the double sell imbalances, obviously that's an area that I wanted to sell off. If you heard a young person talking in the background a minute ago during this video, that was my son. I guess he came in and asked me why am I working, and I kind of wondered the same thing, but uh, it's a lot of fun having him around. So anyway, the trade is continuing along. It's about 5 minutes later, and I noticed there's a supply zone down at or a demand zone down at 46. I'm going to compare that to. I'm going to look on a 60-minute chart and possibly some other charts just to see if we've got some imbalance zones or block zones elsewhere. In fact, I'm going to turn them on this chart and see if it doesn't look like we have anything in the way of zones down there. So I'm just going to hold and trade for my first target, which is 67, and then I'll put 40. Take a couple ticks before that. I'll put 48 for now, and then I'll do some analysis and see where we go. I want to keep this video pretty short because it's just a trade update, just to give people a feel for the NOFT and to see it live in action, and how easy it is to really pick your trade location, simply because it's so easy to read. We have these supply demand zones, we have stacked imbalance zones, we've got our imbalances, and we have the reversal signal. That's the red and blue boxes that you see above certain candles and below certain candles. And so there's a lot of indicators in the NOFT. I've always said that, but what I've also said is that you don't need a lot to make it help your trading. I'm only using about 4 or 5 things on this chart, and so it doesn't have to be rocket science. It's kind of like a checklist for me. If I have a zone, and then I have a reversal signal, and imbalances in my favor, um, that's kind of the start of it. And if I see anything else, whether it's unfinished auctions or whatever, then that just adds to my case. So if I have 3 out of 4, or sorry, 3 out of 5, 4 out of 5, 5 out of 5, well, I'm taking the trade. So let's see if we can push through this. The low was 82. Let's see if we end up pushing through this. So I'm just going to pause the video again, and we'll see what happens. Alright, so I'm seeing some things now that I do not like about this trade, and I'm going to show you show you them. Just one moment. I'm going to turn the supply and demand zones off so you can see this more clearly. The low today so far was 83. We came into it, and we still haven't taken that low out. And there was also an unresolved auction at the low, the gold line that you see at the bottom there, from the low that was made about 4:15 a.m. Eastern time. It still hasn't been taken out, so I'm thinking that I'm probably going to be dumping this trade in short order unless we get a continuation through. The second thing I'm not liking is as we came into the low, we came within 1 tick of it, and then we got aggressive buying. You can see there's on the 525 candle, there's a 203 contracts bought aggressively, 540 contracts bought aggressively in blue. We went up, we retraced back into those very numbers at 84 and 85, and you get another aggressive buying happening. 485 contracts bought aggressively in blue on the 530 candle, and just not getting the follow through. And I may not move my stop simply because I believe it's in an advantageous area right now. So I may still let this play out. I just don't like the fact that we're kind of sideways and we still fail to take out the low. They could, the market might be just trying to squeeze out the weaker players here, which is a possibility. If we do go lower, I have determined my second target now. So 67 is going to be my first target. 55 is going to be my, 67 is going to be my first target. 55 is going to be my second target on this trade. So either way, it's still a good risk to reward ratio. And as I said, I've only lost four ticks on 2 contracts and 5 ticks on 2 contracts respectively so far today. So recovering that should be rather easy. Whether I'm able to do that now during the remainder of this part of the London session, or to do it during the first half of the US session, remains to be seen. But that's the name of the game, is keep your losses small and hold on to your runners. So far I haven't really had any drawdown on this trade, even though we have come within 1 tick of my entry. So I'm just going to hold it, and if I see any reason to exit, I'll do so. But for now, I'm just going to hold it. But I am a little concerned that we didn't break the low and take out that unfinished auction at the low, as well as these aggressive buyers that came in near the low. So let's see if we get any follow through to the downside. Alright, so here we are a little later. It's coming up on 6:30 a.m. Eastern time, and I noticed as I did some more analysis, we're coming into some heavier volume now, and so I think I'm just going, I would be taking, if I take this contract off now, I'd be taking it about 5 ticks short of my initial target, which is okay. That would still give me, let's see if I get filled here at 72, that would still give me 20 ticks on the first contract. Let's see if it actually fills. We're on the video here, of course, and then moved up a tick. So I'll pause the video and let's see. Okay, I guess I don't need to pause the video. So anyway, so first target filled at 20 ticks, and I'm still expecting the market to go lower. Um, as I said, it did come into some volume from the previous week, and the market started to slow down as we did that. So I'm taking some profits off the table that more than makes up for any small losses that I had earlier. And let's see what happens with the runner. So I'll pause the video again and let's see how we go. Okay, so quite some time later, just after 7:45 a.m. Eastern time, which is 7:45 p.m. Hong Kong time, we still did not make it down to my second target at 55. We failed to break lower from about 68. As you guys know, I was originally looking for 67. We did get that number, although you guys did see me take profits. I think it was at 71 or 72. So I was pretty close within that swing, and that's part of the being able to read the NOFT and the education that we provide to you as part of the NOFT package. So anyway, I still held this. I moved my stop originally to a couple ticks above my entry, and now just to break even. And what I'm looking for now is to see if we actually get some follow through it here. If we do, that means my supposition was correct, that we would just come back up in here into this previous sell imbalance. We had a triple sell imbalance way back here. You can see around 5:45 a.m. Eastern time, 172, 271, 489. That's a stacked sell imbalance. Three of them stacked together. So that was an area that I really didn't think we would go through, and so far that has proven correct. We came all the way up to 87, and we backed off from 87 almost 10 ticks. So now this is kind of the do or die area that we're at right now. If we can get back into this area from 78 to 67, I think I've got a good chance of getting that 55 target. If not, I'll look and see whether to either exit the trade or move my stop lower, which I'm actually considering doing right now. And we'll see how the rest of the trade goes. Okay, so about 8:40. We still failed to break the low at 67. I've moved my stop in from 92 break even now to +7 at 85. And so I'm just going to see if we get some follow through. We are getting some heavier aggressive buying coming into the marketplace now. Obviously, if that continues beyond the 80 area, it's not really somewhere where I want to be if that happens. So I'm just going to watch carefully now and see if we get any follow through to the downside. If not, I may lock in some more profits and be happy with what I've got. Okay, so it looks like we might have actually made the a higher low back down at 68. So I think I'm probably done in this trade now. I'm just looking for where to place my stop. Probably looks like 81 is going to be the best place to put the stop, so that would lock in another 11 ticks on the trade. And let's see. I mean, it could turn around now. We'll see. I did not like the heavy aggressive buying that we saw as we came into the low again. At 68 there, at 69 we had 697 aggressive buyers. We had an unfinished auction at 68. We have in the very next bar, the 840 bar, we had 289 aggressive contracts bought, 408, 908. So really we've got a stacked aggressive buy zone now at 156.73. to 156.74. It looks like we might even get another one here from 75 to 76. We'll see um, how this bar plays out. But so anyway, I've moved my stop on this runner to 81. So I'll just leave it there and see what happens. This has been a very long trade. I think anybody watching this video would definitely agree. I've been extremely patient with it. I guess the only thing that I missed, or I think I could have done better, was when we failed to get up into the 90 plus area. There was reversal signals, there was aggressive selling. That was around 7:45 a.m. Eastern. I could have re-entered another contract somewhere, between 85 and 80 or 81, let's say. Anywhere in there would have been a reasonable entry with a very small stop, 5-6 ticks max. And that was the only thing that I failed to do. So overall, I think it's still a good trade, particularly given the speed and well, I guess I should say the slowness of this market and the lack of significant volatility at the moment. So I'm sure that will change going into the US session, but we'll have to wait and see. So I'll just pause the video again. Okay, so it's just before the US Open, about 15 minutes before the US Open. You can see the market did in fact come back up and take me out on the runner. So I got about 20 ticks on the first contract and another 10 on the runner, and that was it. That's all she wrote. And it's amazing how over and over again with the NOFT you see these unfinished auctions, you see stacked imbalance, areas of aggression, and that's usually where the turning points are. So if you look at that 840 bar there, that was the key. You can see you had 289 contracts in blue there, bought aggressively, 408 bought aggressively, and 908 stacked on top of the 408, all bought aggressively into that, and we could not get back below that 289 buy and balance. When we came in, that's exactly where the market stopped. We formed another unfinished auction, some buyers trapped near the bottom of that bar, or sorry, some sellers trapped near the bottom of that bar, and that's when we reversed. And so now that this has happened, obviously I'm thinking long side, so I've kind of missed this area for a long. You can see there was actually a 5 level stacked imbalance from 80 to 84. Wow, right on that 905 bar, and we've popped up further from there. So I've kind of missed that one. And so, but I will be looking to see what we do coming into the U.S. session. So another 10 minutes until the U.S. Open. But that's it for the London trade session review. I know London doesn't close for a few more hours yet, but that's basically the way I'm doing these videos. Is any trades that I do from basically the London Open until the U.S. Open, I'm considering them as part of the London session. So I hope you liked the video. I hope it gives you some trade ideas and maybe answer some questions for you. And as always, if you want to purchase the NOFT, you're welcome to contact me to do that. And if you have any other questions, you can contact me as well.